two teams. We're here with the draft presented by Progressive.
Well, to continue on this conversation about March, it's the fact that he's got this unique idea, but he's also pretty charismatic, right? Like, think of how he won over the hearts of everybody at TI, you know, with the March scream, the March smash, you know, like I think he's really good at being able to get his teammates to buy into his ideas about Dota. He did it with MVP Phoenix. He's doing it here with J.Storm as well. And, you know, that also is going to come with having a coach and being able to have someone like Jimmy basically helping you out and getting your teammates to go along with your ideas about Dota. And that's more important than being right, I would say. Yeah. When it comes to the breakdown of what you want to do with strategy, it's more about you're all on the same page rather than who's actually technically right about what's overall, you know, best thing for this meta.
Well, to me, when I think of him, I just think authenticity. Like, there is not, you know, a non-authentic bone in his body. And that's, to me, the big thing about it as a captain, too. Because if he's saying something to you that says, okay, this is something that we need to do, you know that there's no, like, ulterior motives. I know that there's nothing like, oh, you know, he's just trying to shut me up so that way he can do whatever he wants and look like the star. He's always doing what's best for the team. He's just such a lovable guy. You gotta love it. Yeah,
and you can see as well, got the respect band coming in there from Happy Guys. Yep. And
he'll play his other hero, though. This is the other one, which is, you know, he's authentic, but he also just runs at people's face. And that's what Ogre Magi does.
Yeah.
And in return, Happy Guys are going to be able to get both the Tiny as well as the Phoenix. So we've seen the impact of this Phoenix throughout this tournament. These third pick Phoenixes, just massive impact. So we're upgrading it a little bit. We're going to see it in the first one, too. But you're already picking it into an Ogre Magi, which is a soft counter, right? He himself doesn't actually kill the egg, but he gives everyone else increased attack speed with Bloodlust. So everybody now has the opportunity to do that, and they've got 4 more picks to deal with this big team fight hero. Mirana is going to be banned. There's still going to be Lina out there. There's still going to be, you know, Ursa seems to be falling by the wayside a bit, but Ursa's still out there. Terrorblade's not bad. He's got long range when he does pop Metamorphosis, and he's got pretty good attack speed naturally. Even better, again, with Bloodlust.
The Ogre, yeah, we talked about that pairing before. I think this might be the first time we've seen the Ogre and the Terrorblade side by side.
Well, and I think this is because it's such a potent combo, and people don't want to give it away. And the reason that they're giving it away right now is because it's a best of 3. They said, okay, we're going to test ourselves. We're going to see, can we beat you at your best game? And I think that Phoenix Tiny is a great way to start it. They have ability to burst through that Terrorblade. One thing I'm kind of interested about, and we're obviously not going to see it here, PL has been banned out already, but that change in the nerf that Terrorblade got with his Sunder mana cost, I'm wondering if we're going to see more mana burn heroes against Terrorblade now. Because if you can't Sunder at level 18, things are going to start to get pretty weird. So I want to see some of that.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get, like, if Nyx Assassin will really fit into the lineup. We'll see. You'll probably have to reveal, like, another core or something.
Could it just be as simple as taking a Diffusal Blade carrier, maybe?
Yeah. Phantom Lancer is one of the more well-known Diffusal Blade holders, and he was banned out in the first 3. Mirana, also banned out in the first 3. So I'm not sure if there's anybody left who's really in the meta right now. I actually, one thing I do kind of like here is Tiny is notorious, right, for his status resistance. It's one of those like really unique aspects of the hero. So one of the things you want is to be able to have these sort of AoE abilities that can't just be shrugged off by status resistance. And one of the ones I actually really like is the Enigma. Now, the problem is that it doesn't really fit J.Storm's style, right? Because Fred can certainly play it. It's just more the fact that with the Terrorblade already up, they're going to want something that's like a lot more aggressive in that regard. But I think it is something to maybe talk about basically for the future of this tournament and see how people, as they're letting these Tinies out into these 1-2 picks, how do they actually deal with it?
Yeah.
And you need to sort of deal with the Tiny because he answers all of the main heroes in the meta right now. That heavy burst, they got the split push potential from him as well. The thing that I kind of want to see here too, though, is do you just go from the Leshrac? That's been the perennial answer for the Terrorblade in some ways. The other thing that sort of sticks out could be maybe something like a Timber Saw. It might get a little bit weird this early, but I'm feeling like Happy Guys are going to need to take their Cinder and Hero with this pick.
I almost think they're like trying to bait out the Timber Saw a little bit because they know that this is a preferred pick against the Terrorblade. There's another hero that I have no idea. I have no info on Happy Guys, whether or not they play this. Arc Ward has been actually a very favored hero against Terrorblade because of the way the interaction of the bubble and just naturally Terrorblade wants to be able to straight up push into towers. The bubble and the way the Arc Ward plays against it just fits really well.
But they do go for the Nyx.
Yeah.
Yeah, you floated that earlier, Cam.
No, that was Lyrical.
Oh,
who
was
called
that
out the
Lyrical?
Nyx
It was a
assassin.
combo. We'll take a little
Okay,
combo.
joint credit on
I
your
was saying that
paper.
they maybe want to see another another core or something like it if they could bait out an Ember Spirit or something like that. And then then the Nyx assassin feels really good. But no, they just straight up take it.
So I think that now you're sort of looking at a situation where, all right, you need to be able to get all of the sentries all around the map to make sure you don't put any because oftentimes what J.Storm has gone for in their mid pick has been something like an Ember Spirit or something to sort of clear out those side lanes. It's really hard to do that now into a hero like a Nyx Assassin. So can you really still play that maximum aggression style if there's the worry that you could potentially get caught out of position when you're trying to push out a side lane with the Nyx? But they're just going to fully double down on it. Can they even go Dro here?
We've talked about Dro a lot this tournament, and just with the
that's
nerfs,
scary.
it just hasn't turned up yet.
I'm not sure if Dro fits, first of all, laning phase is kind of a problem. You'd have to put Terrorblade mid in that situation. But I think they operate in the same area, right? Necrophos, always good against Terrorblade, right? Because he's a hero that plays off of getting low health and being able to have that second life by sundering somebody. Now, he can't really play for an aggressive sunder, right? He can't really play. He has to sunder very quickly because he's always going to be scared of that Reaper Scythe. And you've just got a lot of chain burst damage that's coming out from Happy Guys. And it almost looks like they're going to be the ones taking the pace of this game pretty fast because they've got only 2 big cooldowns, and the other, the heroes can still play pretty fast even when those cooldowns are up. So
There's my boy Undying.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't feel like Happy Guys can play aggressive here, right? You've got Undying and Ogre in this matchup. What? I mean, what do you think that this goal is going to be? Because
the Undying hurts a lot for sure. I think that it's now you just have this big frontline hero with the tombstone being dropped and everything, and you don't have a hero that quickly clears through it. You thought you were going to be winning this area of the fight through Supernova, but it may actually be that tombstone kind of offsets that advantage. So I don't know. We'll see. I still think that Happy Guys can play aggressive, but their timings are going to be very specific around Supernova for sure.
Yeah.
this does also change around either the Venge or the Undying role now. Are we going to be seeing core Venge in the off lane sort of run duel with the Ogre Magi probably?
Yeah, it could be. I think the rankings of most likely is core Venge, and then core Ogre, and then core Undying. I think that's probably the least likely scenario. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that, but we'll see. Undying is a good hero to pressure Necro in some ways because he has this really heavy. Not only does he have the ability to make Necro squishier than he already is by taking away some of that strength, but the big burst of Soul Rip when he tries to pop his Ghost Shroud and heal himself, well, boom, give him the Soul Rip, and he can't do a lot of damage. You've got the zombies out, you're going to have Terrorblade Illusions out that you can get extra instances of damage out from as well.
They banned the Huskar. Traditionally, that's been to make sure that they can sort of protect an Ember pick in the past for J.Storm. I still don't like it as much against the Nyx Assassin, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it either. And then you've got the Tiny matchup problem as well. It's not a hero that hits the egg, which is kind of a problem.
Well, who was it we saw countered that way the other day? They picked an Ember and then the Nyx came out to counter it. So I can't remember which game it was, but certainly it was you.
Kunkka.
The salty Sea Dog.
Ooh.
This is my favorite hero in the game. I love it. This game, though, this looks kind of rough. Like you said, it still doesn't answer the egg problem, but it's just doubling down on that, keeping the momentum going. XTP home, back up to full HP, keep the aggression going.
One of the best things about Kunkka here is that it's quite strong versus Necrophos in multiple aspects. First of all, you've got this combination where you hit it with the X Torrent and then a bow comes in, just big amount of burst damage, right? You love that. But also the Rum buff is super helpful for being able to keep people at that higher HP where Reaper Sight doesn't have an effectiveness, and even if it does come down, the damage is going to be reduced. So it just feels very nice in that regard. I do agree with Lyrical. There is some slight issues with the Supernova egg still. Maybe the core, I mean, they still have Bloodlust, so at the end of the day, all their heroes are kind of buffed up a bit in that regard. So they just don't have that direct one-to-one counter. It's all sort of all these heroes can do a little bit.
Let's see if Cinderin can come up with the answer here on this final pick.
Oh, they're going to take the Ember themselves.
Right.
big amount of burst damage to lay into the Terrorblade. Ember Spirit's kind of always been preferred against TB. And then he can play around all of these X-Torrent combos with the Kunkka between Sleight of Fist as well as Remnants. So
yeah, not a bad pick there. So what are our thoughts? Who do we think won that draft overall? It was a very back and forth one.
I think that Happy Guys won it, in my opinion, but the way that you win on this in J.Storm is Bryle going completely crazy with his Kunkka and then just controlling the game from there. To me, that's the way that I see them winning, and I actually think they can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. I actually do quite a bit because of the Kunkka last pick. I like this Terrorblade setup because I feel like it counters what Tiny and Necrophos want to be able to do with the game, and I think in many ways they just double down on like the side of Happy Guys of just this aspect of kind of run at you heroes, then this mid-game team fight, these tiny Ember Spirits, they all kind of perform the same role of just like going in, laying a lot of magic damage and trying to burst down heroes. And I think that overlap may bite them in the ass because if they end up losing any of these fights, they're going to lose towers. Whereas the other way around, you're not actually going to see this kind of map control coming out from Happy Guys. They're not going to be able to take the same kind of fast objectives and take easy Roshans and stuff that the other side can.
So with that in mind, what is Happy Guys' win condition then?
Pretty much just fighting nonstop, especially with the Supernova Egg. I think that's going to be a critical aspect because, again, we don't have that direct one-to-one, like, easy hero counter. And then making sure that they always take offensive fights. Never actually let this enemy team set up with Metamorphosis and getting, you know, this here comes a 5-man push. We're well set up to get a good boat in when you try and initiate. Don't let that happen. Play chaos. That's entirely what you want out of this game.
Here's the thing. I don't know who's going to win this game. There are going to be a billion kills. That's one thing I can guarantee you, Richard. If nothing
it's going to be a fun game for sure.
Well, no, I think that's interesting, isn't it? Because we'll be talking about J.Storm's kind of strengths being that, you know, run at you style. They want to fight you constantly. And then Happy Guys are like, okay, let's get it on. You know, it's
we're in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get the boxing gloves on.
That's what it's all about. So we are about to get into the game, I'm told. So just how are we feeling overall? Who do we think is going to take this first match here? You want to throw some predictions out there since we're in Vegas?
I'm siding with J.Storm.
Yeah?
Yeah, I believe.
We still feeling?
I don't want to agree with Cap.
Well, look, we are going to get into the game now, so I'm going to throw you over to the commentary studio with Moxie and Breaky CPK. Take it away, guys.
Here we go. Game number 1 of Yes, That's Right, a best of 3 coming at you. Looking forward to this one, of course. Happy Guys versus J.Storm. I can't wait to get this started as we are at a pause.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a professional Dota 2 match unless we had a pause right away, right?
Exactly. Got to get the whole strategy figured out and everything. Now, just some quick tech issues that are going to get taken care of, though. We'll get into the game. Moxie, happy to be here once again, ready to cast more Dota. Again, best of 3s. It just feels like the more natural way to play the game, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the best of 1s were a lot of fun. They were very much like the go big, go home kind of thing. But you can have one game where, you know, maybe something's just a little bit off, or maybe you get a last pick Alchemist, right? That just totally throws a monkey wrench in your plans. So it's kind of nice to have these best of 3 series because you really get to, you know, get a feel for each other. Maybe the first game, you know, you're feeling very, very confident, and then something goes a little off. You can kind of adjust, bring yourself back in, and like it's just so much more hype, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of hype, of course, not only a good amount of money on the line and everything, but this match specifically, as I believe Lyrical was pointing out on the panel there, if anything, there's bound to be action in this game in terms of the heroes that were drafted by both teams. So I'm obviously looking forward to that as a caster, especially, and I know as spectators, that's what you guys enjoy as well. So again, here we are, first of 2 semifinals, of course. The later one, the final tribe, will be taking on Serenity, but kicking off with Happy Guys versus J.Storm, and it looks like we have resumed action and ready to jump on in to what is game number 1. So when it comes to the laning phase, you know, we're talking about the draft as it developed, of course, and it ends up being yet again this kind of core Ogre Magi. This is something we're seeing more of a trend. Forev's going to be playing it, though, for J.Storm here.
Yeah, I love this. I've been seeing this a little bit. I think it was actually Pain Gaming at one point. I saw that Tava was starting to play as in the offlane. That's probably like a Treant offlane, which I know a couple other people have done as well. Yeah. But definitely, you know, it's always fun, especially now that the multicast does have that bit of a buff. So you get some real lucky moves, and unlucky if you're on the receiving end of it.
Right now he's in that middle lane, so kind of curious where he ends up. But look at the bottom lane action. We got Phoenix and Undying setting up down there for now. They're going to be, or going at it one another, I should say. As Tomato on Tiny in the safe lane. Undying, though, let the decay spam begin. Undying's been interesting. We haven't actually seen a lot of Undying this event, I feel like. And going into it, almost kind of expected to see a fair amount because Undying just more recently has, of course, been considered this bully support. It's a term that's been thrown around. And But for whatever reason, again, not really seeing it a whole lot, but March playing it here and sort of got a couple stacks of Decay to work with. But this no doubt has to be one of the more annoying and frustrating support heroes to deal with in the laning phase.
Definitely very, very annoying. And what's interesting, too, is the way that they're actually setting up the lanes. They're sending Moo actually down into this bottom lane to face off with Tomato and Milan, you know, trying to get a little bit of that harass. But they're actually, you know, they're doing a bit of an aggro here, Brady. What do you think about that?
We got on the Radiant side, it looks like that. Nyx Assassin, you got Necrophos heading up here and going to be joined by Phoenix. But whenever you see an aggro trial lane especially, it feels like to me it just comes down to they want to lock down the other team's core. Now, the response already from J.Storm, sure enough, is Terrorblades at the bottom. So I feel like this is something that the Radiant wasn't necessarily expecting to match up against, as you do see a lot of back and forth to start it off here. Boogie having to back it off himself, but no first blood just yet. Bound to be some good action, but so much for that trial lane. They have already rotated, and sure enough, sent the other support to the bottom.
I mean, the other thing is, look at this top lane, right? You've got Boogie on the Necrophos, and then you've got Cinderin, of course, on the Phoenix. You've got a lot of sustain. We saw the power of the Sunray the other day, actually, in being able to keep cores alive, and then you've got Death Pulse. So even, you know, it's going to be trading quite a bit back and forth. Forev is definitely very, very tanky. You know, they've got good lockdown, but I think it's going to be pretty difficult to actually take down these happy guys there.
Well, the one thing, too, of course, especially when you have a hero like an Ogre Magi, is potentially spamming that Fire Blast on the other side of the Necrophos. Going to be seeing some sticks, and I already noticed both the cores having those. So the kill potential will be difficult. The Sunray is also something you probably wouldn't see until a little bit later on. I mean, he might go that 1-1-1 build, though, as you said, if anything, to help this sustain in the laning phase. So I'll keep an eye on that from Cinderin. But bottom lane, again, the Aframoosh going at it with March. But that's the thing with Undying, going back to this hero, of course, how he works. He's stacking up those decay charges, so might be trading auto attacks as elsewhere. That was top lane. Vengeful Spirit goes down, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like, again, you see this constant just regeneration sort of coming out from Boogie, where he's able to spam the Death Pulse. So, you know, trading some hits with Forev, but doesn't seem too concerned. Will actually just go and pop himself a salve. Just the sustain coming out of this lane, again, it's very, very strong. And again, like you said, you know, you don't see that Sunray get picked up too early, but definitely, you know, is a possibility in the books if they feel like it is important. But
I'm surprised. How did Vengeful die, honestly? That feels like, to me, one of those Vengeful just getting way too aggressive situations.
She was getting very low earlier, if I recall correctly. So, oh, what's going on down here? Hello? Hello, Mr. Undying?
He's trying to suicide.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, he managed
that
it.
was close, jeez.
He managed it,
We do
sure.
see Undying is a notorious hero for this. You just run at them, you spam the decay over and over again, and then when you run out of regen and everything, you just kind of commit suicide like that, and, you know, give that small bounty to the other team. But that was close. Almost got killed by the Phoenix. That would have ruined everything. But.
Well, it's so smart, right? Because you've got Aframoosh who's actually playing that Nyx Assassin, just keeps burning off all the mana over on March the entire time. So he's not going to be able to really, you know, do that decay quite as frequently as he'd like. So it does result in him having to, you know, go back to Fountain.
Yeah, mana burn's one of those, I guess in the sense of, burning the mana, it is good, but it's not going to be doing the most damage just yet. But that is a good point to bring up. Simply to kind of remove that mana from Undying to prevent the decay spams as much. Top lane, Poogie's getting low, but again, he has a stick, he has Ghost Shroud, so that's the thing with Necrophos. He might be a little bit lower, but I don't think he's necessarily in trouble. In fact, he's going to go right there with the Ghost Shroud, pop the heals, and all of a sudden he's back to full life. Go figure.
I abhor that hero. I hate that hero. Oh, there's nothing worse than when you get someone really, really low and they're just like, oh, herder, I'm going to use my Ghost Shroud and my stick and go back to almost full health.
Yeah.
What is that nonsense, Breaky?
You got to be careful with those baits sometimes.
Hate it.
Seen it plenty. But so far, how is Necrophos doing up there? 18-1 against the Ogre, who's 15-2 currently. So Necrophos having the better, but Forev, he's almost playing like that support Ogre right now. He's just running at both the cores, or the heroes in the laning, I suppose. But either way, he's losing right now to the CS to Necrophos. I can't say that's too surprising, though.
I mean, oh, Tomato, you're going to get taken down by Moo. A little bit of that all chat that we talked about earlier.
Moo's not afraid to talk a little trash.
They were having fun in the lobby earlier.
Oh, yeah. Some conversations.
NA Dota.
It's the NA Dota going on. That's a good way to put it,
yeah.
But yeah, popping the Metamorphosis, and again, Undying just simply able to run at them. But now Moo's in a bit of trouble himself. The meta's still active, but he's going to be tossed in the air. Does not have Undying nearby now. And they get revenge. The happy guys are like, yeah, where's your support now, baby?
I still like it. He's still going with that chat. It's not all chat this time, but he's spamming those voice lines. Moo's having a good time here.
Always willing to show his emotion.
Right.
Except during the halftime show.
Correct.
Forev, he's fine, but takes more pressure. But Kunkka, we haven't really mentioned the mid lane yet. Kunkka's doing great. He's 26-10 against an Ember Spirit that's 17-3. So this was the last pick Kunkka, remember, in the hands of Bryle, of course, playing it. And he's got that double bracer, just the beefy stats. It really isn't that surprising he's doing so well.
It looks like Milan, though, going to get taken down as he tries to juke around into this Roche pit. Just getting a little bit too low lately. Been seeing those, you know, Fire Spirits getting picked up here, and of course, Boogie just spamming that Death Pulse.
Yeah, able to get close enough. So to me, that's kind of the downside of Eventual Spirit. Hold out Thaka's middle lane. Nice job right there. Avoids it, and is going to be able to make it out here as Illidan. That was well played with that Sleight of Fist coming into play. Able to disjoint the stun. And so he avoids it. But yeah, going back to Vengeful Spirit as well, lane toss away.
We said it was going to be a bloodbath here.
I mean, hey, I'm all for that. So
6 kills in almost 6 minutes, not bad, not bad.
Ain't complaining here.
Not quite South American Dota, but.
Vengeful support, though, the attack range is very, very low compared to really most other range heroes in the game in general. So I feel like we're seeing that somewhat come into play. He wants to go up to harass, but at the same time, he's a bit more vulnerable than other supports would be. Middle lane, though, Moxie.
Yeah, looks like Milan might be in a little bit of trouble here. They do get those Fire Spirits down over on him, trying to chase himself back through the tower. Oh, Synergy really wants. He's actually going to miss that last one, but the auto attack comes through. They just need one more hit. 33 hit points on Milan. Bryle also sitting very, very low during all of that, but they managed to get out.
The lonely walk back to some regen. There is a shrine up that it looks like he'll head on over to and be joined by Kunkka to get the shrine, pop a smoke. We'll see what they make of this. I don't know if they're going to go bottom, maybe. I mean, there's a little bit of back and forth bottom lane. But Bryle is heading that direction.
Ferev? Oh, Ferev.
Top lane?
Yeah, he gets taken out.
Oh, they really ran at him, almost to the tier 2 tower, as you see there.
High-speed chase.
Yeah, I guess so. I got to say, I really did not expect the action to be that crazy at the top lane in terms of kills. I did not, but it's going the way of the Radiant here in Happy Guys for sure, and they're already up 6-1 now as a result of that. But bottom lane, Tombstone's put down. You can tell J.Storm wants to die. This Metamorphosis activated. They kill Tiny. And the flank is Milan as well. Aframu, she's trying to get away. The Spiked Carapace will help a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be enough at the end, though. They have another Magic Missile in 1 second. There we go. Gets off. No Spiked Carapace, of course, to worry about it this time now. And Aframu eventually just simply going to be run down by that Metamorphosis.
There's not too much that he could have done there, honestly, once they started that dive. They even dropped down the Tombstone during all of that as well. So. Yeah. Bit of a problem there, but you know.
This is the thing with these aggressive Terrorblades. With those Metamorphoses especially, they activated, they can push the tower, put a lot of pressure on you. So it's going to be tough for Happy Guys to figure that out. But Milan, they figured out Milan. They've killed him now for, I want to say, the 3rd time at least.
Yeah.
1-3-1 there for that support Vengeful.
You know, it's even more vengeance for her later on, right? After all the deaths.
It's a way to look at it, I suppose, yeah.
Storylines, right?
Exactly. Got to create those. Keep people interested.
For sure.
Kunkka, though.
Tomato actually went top here. Looks like they're, I don't know if they're trying to, you know, just put him in a different position, or if they're trying to get some sort of a gank off, but did not actually go back to the bottom lane.
Well, at the top, Necrophos, again, he's been that tough kill, but there's that one use on the Ghost Shroud, and look at that. It's going to be a turn. Milan's in trouble. The Reaper's side to cut him down. He's dead for 25 seconds, and now Ferev realizing it's a lost cause, just simply walks it off. Again, they're playing aggressive. Necrophos, though, it shouldn't have to be told that, but at the same time, it feels like they almost keep forgetting that. That's how this hero works with the bait. And Tomato, I guess, is somewhat baiting in a sense right here. Ferev falls for it. Now Ferev's in trouble. Getting low. They're going to run him down somewhat. Death Pulse is going to connect eventually. Puts another multicast on a nice rip heal from March, though, with a Tombstone down as well. With a toss in on top of the Necrophos. Boogie gets close enough to finish the job on Ogre, and they're going to kill the Tombstone. We're not done just yet, though.
No, we got a big ol' X and a boat coming in hot right now. They will be able to take down Tomato thanks to a nice rotation coming out from Bryle.
So at least they make it the 1-for-1. Now you have rotations happening once again, so as expected, we do have plenty of action. As a 9-4 hero kill lead, 2,000 net worth lead for Happy Guys, gotta say. You know, it's a comfortable lead for them early on. However, that Kunkka continues to be my focus at least. 3,700 net worth, sitting second behind the Necrophos. What is he going, by the way? Did he just bought something? What is being delivered? That would be, well, I guess it's just phase boots for now. So again, what kind of Kunkka build are we going to see? I'm curious. Is it going to be maybe that armlet build, maybe even the Shadow Blade for initiation purposes? I suppose the Shadow Blade would make sense here.
Yeah, you know, get the jump on people. Everyone's playing very, very aggressive, too, coming out from both of these teams. So the more that he can kind of get in good positioning and get things started will definitely help him out in that long run here. But Boogie is 4-0-1 right now, Berkey. He's just having a ball in this top lane.
What is he building with that farm? Looks like a Hood of Defiance. Okay. Gonna go that into a
He's gonna go
Yules.
tanky.
Yeah, this is what you, especially when you have this kind of tri-core makeup, these offlane Necrophos, this makes the most sense to me usually most of the time. Next Assassin, by the way, is found by Milan. Nice salve, though, and he'll stay alive. That is just an illusion, of course, running after him, so he is going to manage to survive. Yeah, just deal with the illusion. He'll be good. But yeah, building that tanky Necrophos allows him to be that frontliner, of course. He did receive a couple of nerfs in that latest patch, I believe, with the, if I'm not mistaken, the damage talent getting slightly nerfed, but overall, it's still considered a very powerful hero, of course. Brile top lane, going for the initiation. The Shark is out. They pull him back in. Cinderin is nearby. Not level 6, though. Barely not level 6. He hits it in the process. And now, once again, it's Happy Guys looking at turn. They really want this Necrophos, but man, you figured they would have learned their lesson by now. Brile's going to die to a Reaper Scythe. He buys back immediately. He's like, I don't want to wait this out. Screw that.
Now he's coming right back. Actually, it goes over to this this mid lane here. We watched in the bottom lane too while all that was going on. Breaky actually saw a kill coming out here with Illidan just like running over at the Vengeful Spirit. Forev taking some damage here. Aphromush gonna go and try to use that Spike Carapace. There's gonna be March coming in hot though. Drops that Tombstone. They know the egg is down. They'll actually be able to take down Cinder in here. Now Boogie coming forward, trying to take down that Tombstone as fast as he can. They're trying to get that denial off. Do manage to land that impale there, but again, like you said, they keep looking at Boogie like, we can take this guy down. Can you really, though? I mean, he's got that Hood of Defiance. He's fairly tanky. He's got all of that.
Moxie, the answer's no.
Yeah.
I think we've realized that several times now. Yes, eventually, sure, but it just seems like it's a strategy. They're banging their head against a brick wall, honestly, as J.Storm with this Necrophos at the top. It's one thing, you get the logic. They want to kind of slow him down a little bit, but constantly feeding kills into him. He's now 5-on-1. You're talking about that earlier. Isn't necessarily going to accomplish that. Now, again, going back to the good news for J.Storm is the fact you do have Terrorblade. He has been somewhat free farming. Brile, he's stacking some more of the Ancients right there, so that's going to come into play. Terrorblade, by the way, he did go drums. I feel like this is a Moo thing especially. Moo, especially coming from the offlane even last season, he was notorious for building drums on so many heroes, and he builds a hero on the Terrorblade.
Oh, the battle for the bottom tower, though. You're seeing everybody getting into position. There's going to be immediately that Icarus dive. Model just going to clear up the creep wave. And we get all 5 heroes down here. Jeez. They want to defend that. They want to defend their woods.
I like that decision because clearly J.Storm is putting a commitment into trying to push this bottom tower. In fact, I'm almost a little surprised it wasn't taken out yet. It is down to 150 life, so it is in deny range. But yeah, they are using it as bait, speaking of that, from Happy Guys. They know that Terrorblade will like that tower kill, especially with that Metamorphosis, but is unable to finish that job. So we'll see if that comes into play. They were trying right there to react, but yeah, it was a good fallback by J.Storm for now. But, they are going to keep it up, like I said, to try to maybe get them again.
Yeah, a little bit of hide and seek going on here in this mid lane. They're just kind of poking at each other, playing peekaboo. Getting another stack. Look at all these Ancients. Oh, my word.
Yeah, I saw him stacking that earlier.
Yeah, this is getting real intense, though. They use the Tombstone. They use the boat. They got to clear it up. I wonder how much gold they're going to get out of this.
I mean, that's going to be a fair amount of gold. I know Brile was doing a bit of the couple last stacks, so.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
Jumping up right there.
Some nice experience, too, that they're sharing.
Yeah, share the love. It's teamwork, after all.
Absolutely. Aphromush kind of looking around down here. Knows that they just had a couple TPs come down. Milan hiding behind this tower. Terrorblade hiding over in the woods. But in the top lane, they've got their eyes on Forev again. Egg comes out. Forev just can't hit it fast enough. We'll be able to TP out, though.
Close call there for Ogre Magi. But yeah, Cinderin, of course, survives. Everyone's good to go. Down to the bottom side, Milan. He's blocking away. Aphromush not going to finish the job. He was in biz for most of that, just simply trying to find an opening. Couldn't do so. But that's something else to keep in mind, of course, with that Nyx Assassin, a hero that is maybe making a little bit of a comeback lately, but point is, he's that vision game for Happy Guys in this case. In middle lane, going to be a pullback with the X and Tomato, but Brile not out of the woods just yet. He's still trying to get away, puts down the Shark. It's not going to be enough to save him, though. Does not come nearly in time. Tomato gets credit for the kill, but we're not done just yet. J.Storm wants some revenge. Double damage metaform from Terrorblade. They are going to kill Cinderin. That's not the trade you're looking for, though, if you're J.Storm.
No, definitely not.
That's a dieback, by the way, too, remember?
Yeah, because he bought back earlier. That Brile, that dieback. Has to do that walk of shame. Toss comes out here. He's going to go ahead there, drop that Tombstone. Illidan, it looks like he's thinking about maybe going in. They really want to defend this tower right now. Going ahead. Oh, that Impale coming through. Magic Missile comes through as well, but they're able to take down the Undying. They're going to be able to take down this Tombstone, get a little extra pocket money here. And Moo, even though he has that double damage, it's just about to go down, as is the Metamorphosis fairly soon. So he's just going to walk himself away and go back to farming up that Yasha.
Yeah, Happy Guys is really putting a lot of priority on protecting their objectives. And that, again, it's not surprising, especially that middle tower. Very, very important objective for this early on in the game. But they did eventually get the tier 1 bottom, but you can just see right there, they're not going to let this Terrorblade run over towers like Terrorblades can tend to do. Top lane, though, Forev once again caught. Is it enough damage this time around? We all know. Oh, nice cancel right there, by the way. He baited out the spiked Carapace. He canceled, and now they are turning somewhat. At least that's the idea. Bloodlust applied to March. Gonna try to run them down, but now here comes maybe Supernova. No, he just Icarus dives on through, throws out the Fire Spirits. Tomato, it's turn after turn, and they're going back in on the side of Happy Guys now, but J.Storm falling back. The Supernova in the back lines will kind of zone them away. If anything, with that Ember Spirit, he's found Bryle. Bryle, that would be a prime target once again. The Shark is out, though. They do have a Shrine to use, which they'll activate right there, and now it's J.Storm's turn to go back, and it's an endless back and forth here.
For sure, that was looking really, really good for a while for Happy Guys. But then once the egg went down, they were able to just walk away from it. It was kind of like they just wanted to reset, maybe go right back in again. So ended up turning the tide definitely, although in the mid lane, oh, nice swap coming out from Milan. There's an Illidan here, and he says, you're not going anywhere. They'll get that kill. Can they get the kill on Bryle? He's trying to harden himself out. He's got that bottle. It's not going to be enough. Illidan's going to get the kill.
Man, Lyrical was so right. Expect a lot of action this game. We definitely are getting a Moxie. 15 to 6 hero kills in favor of Happy Guys. I mean, you got 4 of the top farmers in this game. 3 out of the 4, excuse me, belong on the side of Happy Guys. Of course, you do have Terrorblade in that mix as well, but there's a lot of reasons why Happy Guys should be pretty happy with where they're at. And I also go back to the build of Moo, going those drums. Again, I understand the idea. It's very, you want to, because of all the fighting going on, if anything, it makes sense from that perspective. But it maybe didn't necessarily enhance his potential farm, the greediness aspect of trying to play for more of the late game instead. So that could come back to bite him in the ass in a sense. But again, top lane Forev, very precise.
Talking about biting him in the butt.
There you go.
That was a sight.
That booty.
That booty, that stick boy, man, right?
Ogre is definitely that. Power Tread's going to be finished on him soon. He went the Hood of Defiance first himself, by the way. But who do they find here? Oh, that's just a sentry ward, I suppose. A lot of pings going out near the Ancients.
Yeah, they're on the prowl.
Sentry, which they'll take away.
Oh, Bryle. Oh, Bryle, do you know what is about to happen to you, my friend? That Impale coming through here, followed up with Tomato. He's got that Blink Toss that's going to come up, and it looks like our favorite sea captain here going out to sea.
Yeah, I'm looking at the vision game, but obviously that only means so much anyways, the fact that you have a Nyx Assassin on the other side. So you're looking back for that perspective. Nyx Assassin is doing a fantastic job of giving Happy Guys the openings. He's allowing them to know, where certain heroes are. And obviously, Kunkka was showing himself in that middle lane, so it's not necessarily that. It's more so they were around the backside. They realized nobody was there kind of baiting that Kunkka, so that gave them the opening, which they then took seconds later for the eventual kill. So I am really liking Happy Guys in their play. And this goes back to yesterday, too. It's been almost a surprise in a lot of ways, and I think it's still safe to say, we did not expect a lot out of this team going into this event, but they are playing very pure right now, considering leading the way as the captain. Undying top lane.
Oh,
that is an easy kill. The Tombstone was put down. The swap play on Boogie. They want Boogie dead, Moxie.
I mean, can they get this, though? He's got the Ghost Shroud up. He's got a Yules, too. He's got a lot of survivability. The toss comes out from Tomato. He says, yo, bro, what are you doing over there? You got to get out right now. Already Ghost pops that Ghost Shroud, pops those one charges. Might be in for some trouble again. Still has that Yules up and running. Tomato looking like he's going to turn around. Takes down Milan. No problem. Boogie now buying himself some more time, dealing with all of this. The swoop comes in out from the Phoenix, and see you later. Cindering gets a double kill.
And it's not even over just yet. Bryle in the backlines, double damage. Activated an Ember Spirit running after Bryle in the base. He puts down the Remnant behind him to get away when need be. He doesn't finish the kill, but the Impale will do so from Afromoosh. The teamwork continues to be so impressive. It started with that toss back on Necrophos, as you were pointing out, Moxie, and now all 5 are still up, going to be pushing the base. Another buyback on Kunkka. It just came up. They need to defend, though, understandably, but they kill the Undying. He's dead for 30 seconds. This is possibly a tier 3 tower kill, at least.
How do they get in there, though? That's the question. Like, look at this Milan. Poor Milan has just been bullied this entire game break. He's trying to run himself away. He's not even going to be able to make it. Just a couple feet over into his own safety of his own fountain here. And now Cinder might be in for a little trouble here as well. He is burning down, but he'll get the heal up coming out from Boogie. We talked about this really nice sustain. A big old boat coming in here, and they just dodges. Illidan says, yeah, no thanks. Thanks, but none. I'm out of here.
You know, oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, they're not done yet. They still got the X over here on Illidan. He doesn't quite have that remnant up just yet. Those steering chains, multicast. There it is. There's the Sunray followed up with the Torrent. Can he get himself out in time? And nice spirits coming out, slowing down Brile so much. But they will eventually get that kill.
Considering what they got out of that, I think that's okay if you're happy, guys. Obviously, dying on Ember Spirit, not the greatest thing in the world. But, you know, with Forev getting the bounty on top of you got a tier 3 still. We just hit the 20-minute mark, getting a tier 3 tower kill. I think it's safe to say, happy guys, overall pretty satisfied with what happened right there. But I was going to mention, obviously he died in the end, but Illidan, I noticed in his warm-up, he was playing some Osu. And I'm not know if you're familiar with that game, but it's that beat game of sorts, the music beat game that, and boy is he good at that, by the way. That was impressive to watch. But, you know, get those fast fingers warmed up and everything. We saw that come into play right there. On the Ember Spear. But something else to keep in mind with what happened during all of that. Mu was farming elsewhere for pretty much all of that fighting that was going on the Terrorblade. And he does take over his top net worth. He does have a Manta style now finished, but he really needs that BKB before he's going to be interested in taking these fights.
And it's going to be hard. They're not going to give him any sort of quarter for this. They're just running, like we said, and like Lyrical said too, about, you know, this whole being a bloodbath. They're just constantly going to be running at each other and going for these kills and taking objectives. And they have like the perfect lineup for this coming out from Happy Guys, right? Once you get that Blink Dagger up and running over on your Tiny, you tend to be very, very aggressive. Level 6 over on the Phoenix, and Boogie has just been dominating his lane. Yeah. So they're looking real good. I mean, oh boy, they went right up that cliff, but that's a fail boat.
Yeah. That's a fail boat, yes, as Kanka would say. And that was living up to the reputation right there, unfortunately. Yeah, Boogie, but once again, another kid stays alive. I hear the X going off elsewhere.
Yeah, it's over in the mid lane. Just pulling himself back just in case. They were trying to get the jump over on Afromush, but they didn't quite manage it. But look, top lane, there is an Illidan, and he is taking your building.
You know, Illidan went Battle Fury, by the way. He went bots into Battle Fury, so he's even going to be able to compete in a sense if this game happens to go on. But they're taking advantage of what they have right now. They already got the range racks. They're going for the melee. Kunka, they know the ship is down, in this case, for 10 more seconds as we see. Forev just throws out a Fire Blast and stalling as much as they can. Where's Terrorblade? He is he's not making an appearance because he's farming elsewhere. He is TPing now, though, I believe. So maybe that's coming out soon. But again, he will not have the BKB finished yet. And I don't know if he really still wants to take a fight, but saving the melee racks, I guess you're forced to. Either way, they are going to hold him off for now.
Yeah, it looks like already we're going to see Illidan just making his way back to that bottom lane to push out. And the rest of his team still hanging around, maybe hoping to get some sort of a pick-off. They do have a Sentry Ward over here to keep tabs on Afromush, but...
It's very interesting to me, going back to that Battle Fury choice on Ember Spirit. This is not a build we see a lot nowadays on these Embers. You know, more that Maelstrom, Yules, etc. It feels like it's the usual theme, but going up against a Terrorblade who is notorious for having this high physical, you know, mitigation with the armor and everything, that's why I almost feel like the Magic build just would have naturally made more sense, right? But I suppose the idea of the Battle Fury does allow him to commit more for like that late game as I was talking about. And no matter what kind of physical mitigation you have, when you pick up the Chrysalis, the Daedalus, etc., you're still going to be hitting pretty hard.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're going to need some illusion clear to deal with this this Terrorblade eventually, right? Because, you know, typically you've got that Manta, which is already picked up over here on Mu. So having that ability to cleave, also on the Tiny too, you know, not to the only person there, but will make things a little bit easier. Afromush.
Hunting right
a little too close here. They've got the dust. He's going to have to just walk himself away. They actually dropped the tombstone on top here to get a little bit more vision. The rest of the team coming in, though, they're not willing to let their friend die that fast, that easily. Do manage to get a couple of those steering chains off, but after he's taken down, they're just going to retreat.
Yeah, that was, if he could survive a little bit longer, then that was definitely a fight breaking out in full, but Happy Guys, they wrapped around, they could not get there in time. It was a good swap back ultimately by the Vengeful Spirit to secure that kill. And you do have the BKB now finished on Terrorblade, by the way. So it's a full 10 seconds, good to go. He hits level 15, he picks up that 250 health talent as well. So he is a lot more bulky. He is most certainly ready to fight. But again, Happy Guys is still working with a tier 3 dead top, and the melee rack's just about dead on top of that. So I'm sure going to continue to play this game of let's try to get a pick or two and then push in the objectives here. But if I was J.Storm, it feels like just grouping up as they're almost doing right here. Make sure if a fight does happen that you have your Terrorblade especially nearby and you're ready to go as a team.
Well, you know what's interesting too is the fact that you know, they still have all of their tier 1s and 2s in that bottom lane here. And they're just trying to do a little bit of split pushing here with Illidan now. So they do have that option on the table, and they don't really have a great way. I guess they've got the Kunkka, right? The Kunkka can just, you know, TP and then X marks himself and go right back. But I mean, you've got this, like, it's almost similar to like an anti-mage, right? The fact that you're just going to have to constantly be keeping tabs over here on Illidan, because he's going to just take towers. If he sees an opening, if his team is taking a fight that he feels like, you know, oh, maybe they got jumped on, I don't think this is, you know, the best fight for me, he's just going to go find himself some objectives.
Or they're going to find themselves some kills.
Or they're going to find themselves a Forev. Oh, look at this little guy. Oh, they missed the impale, though.
And Nick's Assassin, it's as I always go back to, it's a tough one to land. Either way, he has plenty of backup.
Tomato's got it.
Tomato's like, I got you, bro.
There we go.
And the tower go. Are they doing Roshan on the meantime? They sure are.
They see this opening, they figure, all right, we lost Forev, so let's make something out of the space. So I like that idea. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, makes sense. So that, in a sense, it's going to kind of work out for J.Storm, really. I mean, yeah, they lose a tier 1 in their Ogre Magi, but that's a free Aegis now given a move. Well, of course, we'll gladly accept that. Did use Metamorphosis to do Roshan, however, and I don't know if the Radiant team, they did have a vision over there, so they probably saw that at least he activated it. So they do have that window in a sense of, okay, yeah, he has the Aegis, but he won't have meta for another 2 minutes. And I really think Happy Guys is going to take advantage of that. In fact, they're already pushing more here at this bottom lane, going for tier 2. And I don't know if they're going to go all the way to tier 3, especially with that top pressure, but that's just a tier 1 tower, so they might just keep going, actually.
Yeah, I don't think you really care about your tier 1 at this point, you know. Put some more damage over here onto this tower, force some people home, but you do see that, you know, Nick's Assassin poking them away here, throws out the spike Carapace. Kamato's here also as well. They get a nice swap off. They'll turn around, the BKB comes out over onto Moo. Looks like Milan, though, gonna probably be that sacrificial lamb as Moo tries to run himself away. They had that Icarus. Oh, look at that. They've got the Sunray. They can see him. He doesn't have that Sundrep. Does have the Aegis, though,
no TP.
But this is not looking great for him. So they will be able to burn that Aegis. He's going to be coming right back up again, and the rest of the team are waiting to give him a very sad welcome party.
He does not have a buyback. Yeah, he just bought his Dragonlance, so
disaster.
He does not have a buyback, and he's dead for 80 seconds. So that whole Aegis pickup and everything completely goes out the window. Now, first off, that almost was pretty bad for not J.Storm, but Happy Guys, because Tiny went in for his combo. He actually got Yules, terribly got Yules by Nick's Assassin, though, at the same time. It was a bit of miscommunication, so that could have been bad. It allowed him to BKB and react, but the big picture, it obviously still works out for Happy Guys. And I like the tossing and the creep thing. Get in there, let's take off that back row protection.
Stop slacking. This is why you don't have health insurance.
They're going to push that melee racks at the top lane. That's an easy kill. I mean, obviously, J.Storm is not defending this. In fact, I think this is 2 racks, Moxie. I don't know if they can stop that.
Well, they got to go back and get some. They got to get a tower here if they want to go there. Yeah, they did take the bottom tier 2, but they do need a little bit more buildings taken off this map first. Yeah. But, you know, they've got, we got a Dagon pickup over here on Necro, too.
I love it. Again, physical mitigation on Terrorblade. Well, what great way to get around than a Dagon, right? And
yeah,
on top of the Reaper
swag on with the Dagon.
I love it. It makes a lot of sense. Kunkka's also dropped off big time. Maybe not necessarily to his fault, but it's just been a rough game. This was Bryle was a top farm early on in the laning phase, and he's now 5th overall. Just finishing his BKB, which is a great item, but he's definitely behind, and it's going to be tough to recover. He does bring the creep clear, though, no matter what, so at least he has that going for him, I suppose. There's the BKB
Lucius is being so patient. He's looking for this impale for the opening. He knows the team is standing nearby. March hiding over here in that fog, though. Isn't quite visible.
Love the Lincoln's choice in Ember Spirit, by the way. You know, there's like the Fire Blast, the Swath, the Magic Missile, these single target stuns, X, of course. It pretty much gives him that reaction time. If that Lincoln gets popped, he's going to remnant away, you know, etc. Do his thing to get out of there. So that's now another level of J.Storm, you know, how do they deal with this Ember Spirit in this game? The answers aren't easy, Moxie.
No, they aren't. I mean, we've got a 26-9 kill count again. It's all about the objectives, but we got a 15,000 net lead going on right now. That impale just doesn't land on a hero. It's all of those creeps, though, and there's going to be a big fight coming out here. Breaking Boat's going to be coming in. They're going to try to run themselves out. Tomato actually going to get taken down, and now looks like Aframush also going to be slain. But you know what? All this is happening here in this mid lane. Take a look at the top. Tomato's making his way towards those racks. He's going to be putting in some more pressure. So again, we talked about this. They lost the team fight. It didn't end up working that great for them. And you've just got this Ember Spirit who's just sitting in your base trying to do some more damage. Can't really go in on all of this at this time, so he's just going to wait till it's up to the high ground.
Yeah, we're seeing that Death Bowl strategy now from J.Storm. I guess the BKB on pickup on Kunkka is what really helped him with the incentive of wanting to truly do that now. Again, the top being pushed in more, and they're going to ultimately react to that after they get the tier 2 tower. But you see right there, when it comes to team fight, most certainly J.Storm can't compete, and this Terrorblade continues to be the top net worth, and I have Scotty as well in the works as well. So as long as they're together as a team when a fight breaks out, they most certainly have chance despite being down 10,000 plus net worth in this game right now. So that's going to be the win condition, no doubt, for J.Storm, and it's going to continue to be more of a spread out, you know, Rat Dota style instead for Happy Guys, especially with the Ember Spear and the way he's built it and everything.
I think one of the big things is if you can find yourself a Moo, if you can bait out either that BKB or you can just burst him down, it's going to open a window for Happy Guys. Oh, especially when you find a double damage rune down here in this bottom spot. They spot out our friend, though, over here. They will get a nice pick off over on the Undying. Boogie's godlike.
Feast for the flesh.
That was a free kill for them. Undying's dead for 40 seconds. Ogre does have a pipe on the other side. I saw that being activated last fight, so I was curious who had that.
Poor Milan. Milan's
that?
trying to run away. No bully, please, Illidan. No bully. Oh, the Lincolns gets popped. He'll turn back around.
Yeah.
And give a little chase here, trying to just break those ankles. But look at the taunt coming out. He's trying. Not going to be able to do it, though.
Tried. No avail, though. So middle lane, Shiva's from Phoenix going to be activated, jumping on the top of Kunkka. He's dead. He went in. Oh, did he pop the BKB?
He popped the BKB at the last second, too. Oh, no.
He has a buyback, but without that BKB, that's going to be a little more risky. Of course, I think it's going to be coming, though. I mean, they have to defend this push. They can't just accept giving up another set of racks, of course, at this point. But yeah, that was a really odd decision, honestly. They was definitely 10 at the point. It felt like Ogre Magi. It's also dead with the Reaper's side, dead for 80 seconds. He buys back immediately, of course. As you do see, Brawl TPing back into Supernova, trying to zone out the Dire team, and it will keep them from pursuing. I think Happy Guys might be happy with that. Yeah, they satisfied with the buybacks. They're going to kind of retreat for now.
Yeah, that zoning with the egg was perfect, right? Because it was a little bit further back, but it allowed them to sort of walk away, and they just weren't willing to, you know, commit on it because they're afraid that all of a sudden their positioning would be off. And, you know, it's one of those things where you never know who's got that regen, those wand charges or the heals that are coming out from Nekfos, the Sunray. You can try to chase after them, but you're never quite sure if they're going to be able to just regen, right?
Love the pressure being applied from Happy Guys, and that Ember Spear continues to push out the lanes as he can, especially with this Battle Fury build. He's sitting on another 3,100 gold. So curious to see, again, if it's going to be that Chrysalis and the potential Daedalus next, or, you know, maybe he's going to go like a BKB. You go with the Lincoln's BKB combo. That's where you really would just kind of feel unkillable, unstoppable in a sense. Although I don't know if the BKB would necessarily do the most when you already do have that Lincoln's anyways in this game against what they're up against. So I actually don't think we're going to, and yeah, okay, he has a Chrysalis now, and it will be a Daedalus full. So the damage is going to be hitting hard from Illidan.
You know what's also scary is that we're going to be seeing a BKB get picked up soon over on Tomato, and that's going to be even more difficult for them to do anything against, right? Because a lot of their magic, all their, like, you know, spells and such for lockdown,
yeah,
it's just not going to be able to do anything. Like, and already, oh, Milan, I don't know if this is the right play here. I guess they don't know where everyone is. Nice swap coming out here. We'll be able to go grab this Necrophos. He's going to be able to blink himself out. Oh, look at Tomato. He found himself a miniature Ravage, but now he's in trouble. He's got to turn back around. They need to put a little bit more damage over here on the march, and they're not going to be able to do it. Tomato's going to crumble, and they're still on the run here, trying to just chase after a little bit, but it seems like, you know, they're satisfied. They did manage to get that kill. Nyx Assassin, though, going to get spotted out over here by Brile. He actually misses that impale, but has the spiked Carapace, so he can walk himself back, and he's still going, and oh, the multi-cast for Ev. Going to be able to squish himself a little bug.
That seemed like a very safe play there from Happy Guys. They did not really follow up initiation the greatest from Tomato. Now they're going to kill Ogre Magi. He's dead for 2 minutes as a result with the Reaper's Scythe, and no buyback on him, so a dieback coming out. Undying does get picked up as well. So I suppose this is what Happy Guys is really waiting for, but it's just the Ember and the Necro now, and Ember the Link is his pop, so he's in trouble. Magic Missile connects. I don't think he's getting out of this one.
No.
Remnant in 1 second. Sleight of Fist, yes he is. He gets away at the last second right there. So who am I to doubt Illidan here on the Ember Spear? But I still go back to that fight and how Tomato jumped in, so whether that was lack of communication or just a complete turn of the page in terms of everything being used by J.Storm, which I can respect that, but either way, they had a great opening, it felt like, and they played it very passive, following up the initiation from Tomato in the backlines. But still kind of works out in the long run, I suppose you could say.
It was an interesting fight, for sure. I definitely felt like, it felt like the initiation was a bit off, but, You know, they managed to turn it around. They managed to get Illidan out, which, I mean, at the end of the day is your most important thing. You know, the way that he's just been farming, he's very much a powerhouse.
You look at True Strike picked up by Ember Spirit, especially with the build he's going for. No surprise there whatsoever.
Well, there's an Ags, though, picked up on Boogie.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
He actually just picked it up. I know he's building it. Yeah, he has it.
Yeah,
in his
he
inventory.
just got it delivered. That's pretty spooky stuff here.
Yeah,
Looks like
Reaper's Sight.
Afromoosh, he's trying to bait something out. Milan taking that bait, knows he's got to get out there fast, but the Yules comes out, and there's just not going to be a Vengeful Spirit in this next fight.
No.
Dire's
This
bottom
buyback,
shrine
actually,
is
so
under
possibly.
attack.
But Ogre's been dead this whole time, remember, too. Again, that was 120 plus seconds that he was dead for with no buyback. So he's still dead for another 20. And that with the Vengeful, you have already pressure being put out by Illidan. He's going to once again start walking away for the time being. Yeah, the X from Brile on himself. Going to open here, do some decent damage, but not nearly enough to truly scare him off. What are we looking at with Roshan? Roshan is up now. So to me, it seems like Happy Guys could try to commit for that Roshan. When it comes to taking Roshan, they really aren't the greatest at it, to be fair. So I think that might be coming into play in terms of their decision making right now. But with their map control, you know, just kind of just running uphill blindly, it's also not going to necessarily work in the long run, it feels like. So that awkward spot for Happy Guys of what exactly do we do to try to finish this game now?
Yeah, Nyx Assassin unfortunately runs himself right underneath that sentry ward, but manages to use it off that X. He's going to try to run himself away. Do have that Dust of Appearance over here on him. The Spike Carapace comes out. X again. There's Cinderin standing nearby. Does have that Supernova. Will go in for it. Big Icarus dive. And they've actually popped the BKB over here onto Moo. They want to take down this egg as fast as possible. We'll actually be able to do it, but there's going to be the buyback coming out now, both from Afromoosh and Cinderin Tomato. He's popped his own BKB, and look at these lights coming out from Illidan here. He's still alive and kicking. Boogie now going to get chased down. Does have that Ghost Shroud. He's going to try to run himself back, but again, Afromoosh, he's back in action. He's going to be able to go land that Impale. They've got the Sunray. They should be able to take down. That's a triple kill coming out. Brile now in for so much trouble, and so is Moogie. Moo cannot get out fast enough. That is a team wipe.
I love the buybacks there from Happy Guys. They knew everything was used off the bat, the BKBs, the ship, the meta initially, that they had the opening as a result. So good job by Happy Guys kind of playing it passive in the beginning, backing off on their courts, especially Ember and Tiny, both just simply kind of walking away, allowing for the reset, and boy did that reset great. You see the Sunray heal even coming out now. They do get a buyback on a Terrorblade, but they're going to go for a death push here. I mean, this potentially could be the game if they're able to execute this. 70 seconds for Brile. He's going to be dead for on that Kunkka.
Yeah, they don't have the meta up for another 90-something seconds. How do they go forward into this? Because the Vengeful Spirit obviously gets blown up every time. Forev, you know, he's a tanky boy, but they're just putting out a lot of damage. And here we go. Here's the big fight. This could be it for Icky. It looks like Afromoosh trying to run himself. Moo, he's going to take that BKB. Gets the Thunder up over onto Boogie, but Boogie's actually still alive here. They're going to go and heal him right back up again. They're turning around. Cinderin probably going to pop here. Will get taken down. There's another swap coming out. Boogie, he's in a lot of trouble. It looks like they'll be able to find him. They get off this couple of just nice searing chains, but it's not going to be enough to save them. That is actually Boogie 10 times kill streak that was just ended. That's so much gold, and it's going to Moo.
Okay, yeah, Moo almost got 1,000 gold essentially for that, so obviously that's some decent news for J.Storm. Very good offensive swap, by the way, from the Vengeful Spirit. Milan using the swap on his own ally to get in range for the magic missile, which allowed for the ultimate kill onto that Necrophos to get that streak. And now this is J.Storm, they're going to go for Roshan. So go back to early, you know, Roshan has been up for a while. Happy Guys choosing not to try to commit for it, and now J.Storm finding themselves with a bit of an opening. However, Ember Spirit is pushing bottom, though.
Yeah, there's a little rat in their base right now, and he's just hitting away on this tower. He could possibly get this kill. He almost gets kill mark. He's going to be able to do it, actually. Oh, it was so close. Those searing chains. They got to be careful in this pit. They scan. They know they're in there. Tomato got to get in there in time now. Ooh.
Last second. I thought we were going to see Tiny going in on us. I don't know if the blink was still on cooldown or what, but he chooses not to.
I thought he was going to get the kill on Roche. Like at the last second of that tree, right?
That could have been something.
Well, we got another Demon Edge over here on Ember Spirit.
On the Ember Spirit? Oh, yeah, double Daedalus. Yeah, the whole Battle Fury double Daedalus and eventual Divine Rapier if it comes to it. I mean, this is that old school physical damage build from the Ember Spirit for sure. Like I said, we don't see it a lot nowadays, but he also picks up the 2 Sleight of Fist charges, especially with this build. It's insane the amount of, especially with RNG kicking in, the damage that you can be dealing in these fights. So I expect Illidan all of a sudden you'll see a sleight of fist happen and
it's a Daedalus. He's got a Daedalus queued up, and I'm pretty disappointed.
Again, a double Daedalus Divine Rapier. So we'll probably see the Rapier.
We'll see the Rapier after. Okay, I forgive you, Illidan.
I mean, at the same time, this is a game where that could be a little risky. You're ahead in a lot of ways, and
yeah, but the burst damage, that's the potential that you can do over onto Moo. If you could just take him down that quickly, it's worth it, right? Risk versus reward. You've got a lot of ways to keep your cores alive. You've got the Necrophos there. You've got the Sunray out of the Phoenix. You've got a couple different things. So as long as you're very careful in the way that you prepare all of this, I think it'll be fine. But again, you've got this rat up here in this top lane. Again, Illidan coming through. They're going to try to have a little bit of a fight here, but they need to pay attention because they're going to lose their buildings and their racks. Look at this. They've got this fight going on here, Breaky.
Yeah, they do. That's going to be a kill on the Cinnamon right off the bat. But you can see, Happy Guys, this has been their strategy this whole game. Let's try to run as much as we can from the early onslaught of J.Storm. They are going to lose Necrophos, but once again, bottom lane is being pushed by Ember Spirit. You look back at the fight, but Illidan, he's still going. Vengeful came on the top by himself. The support's kind of collapsing on top. You have Terrorblade still dealing with the Nyx Assassin over here, and Tiny is nearby still. Braun gonna pop his BKB and simply walk away, but damage is done in the base. I mean, we're one melee racks away from mega creeps happening in favor of Happy Guys at this point.
And already look at this, Illidan back to the top lane. He's just gonna go right in there again and just try to force them to come home.
That double Daedalus, man, so much damage to come. He's going to deal with the Ogre here. You see right there, 1120 all of a sudden.
Oh my God.
From a sleight of fist, just kind of tickles him a little bit. All that life is lost. Terrorblade, Moo, he's going to push in. He's got the cheese. He has the Aegis. It's all on Moo.
He's all alone here. This is so scary, right? Tomato standing nearby. He can just definitely, you know, get some of this burst damage off the rest of the team. Like, look at him. He's scouting. He knows that there's really no one quite nearby. Actually swap back because of the searing chains here. Over here on Moo. We'll heal him back up again, but they've got to pay attention to their base. There's a big wave of creeps coming through here.
Terrorblade putting pressure on that tier 3 tower. I understand the decision for sure from J.Storm. They're in that desperate spot. They know they need to do something. Take advantage of what you have with the Aegis, with the cheese, with that metaform ready to go on Terrorblade. Let's just push and see what we can make happen. And back in the base, they have Ogre Magi defending. Undying is getting low. He knows he's dead. He basically wants to die because of the tombstone. And there's the drop, though, on Terrorblade. So he is going to come back up, but no meta for 110 seconds in the backline. So Reaper Scythe cuts down Kunkka. He's dead for 130. He does have a buyback. I mean, no doubt that's going to need to come into play as he uses it right there. But Terrorblade goes back over to Boogie, but without the metaform, he, of course, is not nearly as intimidating at this point. They're going to catch Vengeful as well, and that should eventually be a Vengeful kill on top of that. So Terrorblade will make it out after the fact, and like I said, it wasn't necessarily a high percentage chance at working, but J.Storm is in that desperate spot.
We're not done, Breaky. We've already got Illidan. He goes right back over onto that creep wave. And they're still putting on the damage. You see, they lost a lot of their buildings during all of that fight, although we'll try to get the jump again over onto Illidan. Not going to be able to do it. We saw the buyback, actually, I believe, came out from Kunkka just because the Ogre couldn't manage it anymore. They lost an entire tower. And, you know, Frev, he's a great guy here, but little Ogre is only going to do so much against all of these creeps that are walking into the base.
The hero's going to join them soon. You have Kunkka, of course, doing what he can to defend, but Vengeful and Undying still waiting for the resurrections. Afromush in those front lines. He's got a Force Staff and a Yules, ready to use if necessary, but the mega creeps being attempted here for the Radiant squad. Of course, J.Storm back to, they know they got to try something. Metaform still down for 40 more seconds. So on Moo, he's popping reflections, everything he can possibly do. Tomato using the BKB, they got the mega creep cell, so they got what they wanted. They're also going to kill Undying in the process. That's a double tombstone, and I wouldn't be surprised if Happy Guys now kind of retreats the result. Tomato, he manages to get away. Egg helping out as well. Tomato just a distraction at this point, but going back in on Kunkka in the backlines. Tomato's going to get away as he blinks. They're going to take out Kunkka for a dieback eventually. And I think this is the beginning of the end here, Moxie.
I think so. Did you see the damage that they're putting out? Yeah, Milan, he calls GG. And that's going to be our first game in this best of 3. My boys, Happy Guys, looking pretty good right now.
They went 3-0 yesterday in the group stages. They win their first game today. You know, quick math, that means they are 4-0 in this tournament so far. I still, this is a pleasant surprise. As Capitalitz was talking about, you know, Cinderin's just a lovable guy in general, and he's been around the scene for so long, and seeing him captain another team right here, clearly, this is working very well for them right now, and a lot of expectations perhaps moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure, you know, just watching them play together, I know that Tomato has been the stand-in here, but, you know, really, you know, a nice compliment to the rest of the team. We saw just Illidan on this Ember Spirit just did so much work.
But look at Boogie's stats though, man. 15, 2, and 14.
I know,
That was impressive.
Yeah, and then we have the 12-1 and 19 over on the Ember Spirit. Got pretty nice GPM XPM as well. I just feel really bad for poor Milan, right? It just felt like every time Milan even showed up, was visible at any period of time, it just would immediately get slaughtered. But I want to hear the boys' reaction.